Hey, welcome to Thunkworks. Today in this video I'm going to just do some welding practice. I managed to rescue these steel plates at the skip the other day. They're 3mm thick, and after seeing a video from Urchfab, I'll leave a link in the description to the video in question, he suggested a really good way, really good welding practice project was to make cubes. I'm going to cut 40mm squares out of this strip here, which will make quite small cubes, and I might make some larger ones as well. But so I'm going to get to cutting and then get my welder set up and start welding. Right, so you've seen me cut up all my square pieces. I've also got a few pieces that, just the off-cut pieces, which aren't quite the same size. So what I'm going to do, before I get to actually welding my cubes together, I'm going to do a few practice runs just to check I've got the welder set up how I want it. Actually, I'll show you my welder. So this is my welder. It's a Clark 230 MIG welder. Now it's fairly basic in the fact that these are my power settings, so I've got between 1 and 6, and there's no like fine adjustment between them. So I'm going to have to set this, and you have to set the wire speed to match, and depending on the material. So I'm going to have a little play with that. I'm going to start. I'll probably start on setting 3, and wire speed on 2. Go from there. This is just a spot timer, which I'm not going to be using. Yeah, so I'm going to start on those settings, see what it looks like, and then we can make adjustments from there. I really need to make a MIG torch holder. Right. So I've got my two pieces there. I'm just going to try and run a bead along, and I'll see what happens. What I'm actually going to do, just because when you start welding, the MIG wire can actually push your piece. So I'm actually going to put it in the vise. That's not bad. So it's just a straight weld. I'll get it to focus where I want it. There you go. So I've turned the wire feed speed down from 2 to 1.5. Now I'm hoping that's going to allow me to have a slightly slower travel speed, so the weld will penetrate a little bit more, and it should lay a tiny bit flatter. But it's actually a pretty good weld. So turning the wire speed down to 1.5 may be a little bit too low, but we'll give it a try on the next test piece. So that weld, it still looks pretty good, but if you could hear, it was popping quite a lot. I think that's probably the wire speed's on a bit too low, so I'm going to go back up to 2, or just a fraction under 2, do one more trial weld, and then we can start putting some cubes together. Should be fun. Right, so I've run quite a few more beads, as you can see. The thing's still really hot, so I'm going to try and avoid touching it. Yeah, they all look fairly good. My travel speed, I think, is pretty consistent. I have been trying out, so these welds on top, I've been trying out, so some have been pushing some are pulling. I've been trying different movements, so it's referred to as whipping back and forth, and like drawing ease as you weld along. To be honest with you, I don't know if it's something I'm not doing, but all my welds look fairly similar. So I'm going to stick to just running. I'm going to stick to running straight beads on my welds. They look, I think they look pretty nice. So the idea behind the ease or the whipping is to try and get kind of like a stacked bead look. I'm not really that bothered. That's something that you generally get from TIG welding, MIG welding. Some people like it for an aesthetic point of view. I'm happy with a nice consistent straight bead, and if these cubes that I make turn out well, I'm going to make them into dice, so I'll probably grind down the welds after anyway. So I'm going to set some pieces up ready to weld, and let's get going. So there's my cube tacked together, and I've tacked all the corners, and then I can run beads all the way along each of the edges. Just getting another cube up, set up ready to weld. I'm doing it in a slightly different method this time round. The magnet I was using, the sides, they're not actually parallel. I'll show you with this actually. You can see, so the bottom of that square is against the magnet, and then the top there's a gap. So it's not the best way to set up this. So what I am doing, I'm using one piece as a spacer on the base to set the height of the one piece. Just getting it lined up as best I can by eye, and then putting a second clamp on, and then I'll put a couple of tack welds. Right, so I've got my two halves all prepped. So far, this is actually the third one I made so far. I showed you the first one. I did one off camera. This one is actually turning out to be the best one yet. I still haven't found the best way of holding the two halves together. Cool. Basically, I'm just holding them until I can get a tack on. I got a little tack on there. So, got a tack on the corner, and I'm just going to run some beads now. Right, that's that one welded up. We'll let them cool off for a bit, and then I'll give you a close-up look at them, and then I'll start grinding, I think. So there we go, just a close-up of the welds now. This has been a fun little project. Good to practice some MIG welding on some slightly thicker material. In the past, I've only really done sheet metal. You don't really run continuous beads. Had a go at grinding two of the cubes. See, this one here ground flat, so you end up with nice. If you grind well enough, you end up with nice corners. and I've left the it's kind of got like a mill scale finish to it now. Then this one here I've completely ground and rounded the corners off, and the top one just as welded at the moment. I'm going to leave this video here now. I know I haven't shown you any of the grinding process, but I just intended it as a beginner sort of welding video. If you do want to see what I end up doing with these, I might turn them into dice. Go check out my Instagram. The link will be in the description. If you did like this video, please like it, leave a comment down below, and until next time, thanks for watching.